Hi, Charlie from Monocular 3D. As the 3D printing community continues to grow, it means more technical support is required for those people starting out. Some wannabe resellers jump on the 3D printing bandwagon, but unfortunately without the knowledge or experience to properly support the customers they are serving. As a 3D printing resin developer and manufacturer, I often get contacted by people who want to sell our products online and in physical stores. I always try to ensure that the people who resell our products have a solid understanding of the technology to give support and guidance to their customers if they need it. Today I'll be talking to our biggest reseller in the United Kingdom, Craig Monk, from his very well-named company 3D Print Monkey. Craig has years of 3D modelling and printing experience and is famous for sharing his knowledge and wisdom in the community. Let's start by giving Craig a big Aussie welcome. G'day mate, how's it going? Thanks for joining us today, Craig. I thought it would be a good idea to kick this off by you telling us how you got into 3D printing.
It was through a previous job that I got in 3D printing. We needed to do some prototyping to get some stuff injection molded. So there was no way that we could get it done locally without spending a considerable amount of money. So I decided to buy a 3D printer and have a go. We sent it off to a company in Dyson. That was it, really.
Okay, and what year was that?
That was 2008, 2009.
What did you do as a job before you started 3D Print Monkey?
Draftsman by trade. I'm a CAD guy, so I've always been in the drawing, 3D modelling. So it was quite an easy dovetail to move from doing everything in 3D in a digital world to making 3D printed models from that. As we was getting stuff manufactured anyway from that, it was just an easy way to get some of our stuff rapidly into a physical form, which was easier to show guys on site as well after doing the prototyping.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you obviously had CAD experience. What programs are you currently using?
Depends on what I'm doing. I'm mainly an Autodesk guy, so AutoCAD, Fusion 360, Inventor, 3D Studio Max, Revit are the main ones that I use for various tasks.
So Craig, at what point did you decide to make 3D Print Monkey your full-time job?
Well, COVID helped a little bit. The contract that I was on comes to an end, and there wasn't a huge amount looking forward. So I decided to push harder on the sales side of things. Decided to give it a proper go. I was importing from China and from yourself before that. So it was just a natural progression, really.
Starting a business from the ground up is never easy. Tell me, what's the most important thing you learnt from the process?
Don't underestimate how much space you need for stock storage. It's easy to place an order for 100 printers, 1,000 bottles of resin, and it's not until you get 20 pallets turn up you think, oh my God, I haven't got space for this. So yeah, it's don't underestimate the size of space you need for storage.
Yeah, definitely. We have the same problem here. I know exactly where you're coming from on that one. If you were to pass on 3 pieces of advice to someone who was thinking about starting a 3D printing business, what advice would that be?
I'd say first one, main one is get a good relationship with your suppliers and manufacturers of what you want to use. It's surprising how much knowledge you don't have compared to the manufacturer of those parts, and they can help you understand more about the materials or the products that they're selling for you, and what part of the markets that they want to be in and they feel that they should be in. Yeah, it's to get that good relationship from the start. Don't really skimp on cheap stuff and try and sell it expensive. Make sure that the quality that you're getting is what you think you're getting and sell it like that. Otherwise, you won't get the repeat custom. And another one is, the last one I would say, is be honest with everyone. Be honest with your suppliers, with your customers, to get those good relationships and keep those good relationships, both sides, because good relationships help businesses grow, not just having the best products or the cheapest products or just having products. It's the relationships that keep it going.
So tell us about now. How's business going? Are there any product lines that seem to sell better than others, or is everything pretty well on par?
The hardware side is selling a little bit more for me than I would say some of the consumables and materials. Things like screens, and replacement screens for the resin printers, build plates, those types of things are going very well. I struggle to keep stock of those. And it's social media helps clear the shelves sometimes. If one group of people find that their favourite item is in stock with me, that will go instantly.
How did the COVID pandemic affect your business?
It really kicked it off. One, it meant that the contract I was on finished, so I could put more time and energy into the business. And two, it seemed that a lot more people working from home or being at home a lot more wanted to get into a new hobby. Yeah, that's what really helped push it.
The technology is moving so quickly. How do you manage the inventory of the printers? Is that difficult?
I run a very lean on the amount of stock that I bring into the country, knowing that the technology is going to be moving quite quickly. But I do work quite closely with other partners in around the world who are manufacturing parts for the printers. So when a printer becomes obsolete or the new model version of it comes out, we're still developing parts and still developing upgrades to the older ones to make sure that they're staying relevant. One of the parts of my business is I recondition printers for eDo. So I'm the UK repair centre and service centre for them. So I constantly got a stock of older printers. I've got the original Mars and Mars Pros, and Chichu Systems have just released a new screen adapter system which allows it to use the same monoscreen that's in the Mars 2, but on the Mars Pro and the original Mars. So you can use the older machines and still keep those up to date.
Tell me, what groups and industries are you currently selling to?
A lot of the hobby market, so the home hobby market, people that are printing for themselves or for just themselves and friends. Getting a lot more people who are printing to sell the models, be it Star Wars, Dungeons and Dragons, those type of models, and seeing a slow shift into the professional range of people who are doing full prototyping side of things. We're looking at branching out hopefully next month into the dental markets, using your products as a way to get a foothold into that, as there's definitely a way to increase or give them something better than what they can get from other competitors in the UK.
In my introduction, I spoke about customer support. How important do you think that is to this industry?
For me personally, I think it's my most important product. Everything's about customer support, keeping the customer happy and keeping the customer informed of everything that's going on. If there are mishaps, there are things that are outside of my control, using courier services that there may be a delay or a parcel gets damaged or lost. It's making sure that they've got the confidence that they can trust me to rectify that as quickly as possible.
It seems resin 3D printing is really gaining in popularity. What do you say to the guys who have got an FDM printer and wanting to jump into resin printing?
Do it. Go ahead, buy a resin 3D printer and start printing. There are some differences. They print upside down. It's a little bit more messy, but the quality of the print, especially for small miniatures for detail, is incredible. It'll blow your socks off the first 100 times that you print something, and then the second 100 times it still will. And we're at a very interesting point in the last 18 months, 2 years, where the material science has just come leaps and bounds, where before that, you could only get a standard resin that was quite brittle, not very many colours, and not that great of material. But now there's flexible materials, strong and flexible, different colours, different translucents, dyes, glow in the darks, and you can mix them. So you can then create different blends of resins for yourself. And this is something you can't do with FDM. But if you buy a white resin and a pigment kit, you've got any colour you want. The strength resin, if you want it a little bit more flexible, you add a flex resin. It's just gives you so many more options on the fly, and it's just, yeah, so much better.
What's the most out there thing you've ever heard that was 3D printed? And try and keep it clean, thanks.
It's something that it's something I'm working on with a friend. Had I think it was an MRI scan where they scanned his head. So he's now got a 3D model of his skull, and he wants to turn it into a candy bowl to put on the end of his desk. That's something we're going to be doing together, hopefully soon when I get one of the bigger 3D printers up and running.
So he wants a candy bottle, did you say, of his skull?
Yeah, so we're going to take the skull, so it's a complete skull of his head, going to cut the top off, so where the brain would be, and that he wants as a candy bowl of his own skull on his desk.
Okay. And what software are you going to use to do the work for that?
I'll probably use Inventor. That's got an add-on for importing STLs, and it's quite a powerful package because I'd imagine that it's going to have a lot of facets and faces on the model when we bring it in. I believe he's got it in an STL format. I'm not certain. If not, it will go through 3D Studio Max because you can almost import anything into that. And then we'll use Box to create the file for printing.
I know it's hard to find time to 3D print things for yourself, but do you remember the last thing you 3D printed? If so, what was it?
I like my racing computer games, and I've got a racing steering wheel set up at home. So I constantly making little add-on parts for that, for holding the gear stick or extending the paddles on the back of the wheels, or a phone holder type of things. I'm currently developing or designing doorknobs for all of my kitchen cabinets at the office because I want them translucent with the logo in the doorknob, because why not? And just various random things around the office that help you realise that a shelf's a bit wonky, and instead of going down to the hardware store, you can just knock something up, design it that's going to fit perfectly in custom, and just do that.
Craig, where do you think the industry is headed in the next, say, 5 to 10 years?
So I think it's going to get more mainstream. More people are going to get 3D printers at home, and it's going to lose the nerdy, geeky side of things where people can download models more easily. A lot more of the big names will allow parts and toys and stuff to be downloaded and easily printed at home. And I think you'll see some of the bigger names out there, bigger technology names, getting involved in creating 3D printers that will then truly shift it into having something at home, something a little bit more like what you see on Star Trek, where everyone's got a replicator. But yeah, there won't be that sophisticated in 10 years, but it'll be more of an expected thing to have at home.
Craig, thanks a lot for joining me. It's been really insightful talking to you, and I really appreciate the time you've given us today.
Thank you. No, it's great talking to you, and yeah, thank you very much for having me. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button, but most importantly, remember to keep on 3D printing.